This video is for those who are retired or almost, and they're adult children like myself. So I have a certain family member in their mid-60s who, whenever I try to talk to them about what they may want as they get older, will say something like, "Just shoot me." When I ask about the nice retirement village, like the one that they sent their mother to, they will stamp their feet and say, "I'm not going to a nursing home," even though they always said it was a nice place and that's not a nursing home. And I know friends and colleagues with parents in their 60s and 70s pulling the same crap. Before we begin, we post death and dying related videos every Friday. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. Now let's have a very frank chat about how not to end up in a nursing home. Now we are all aware, I hope, that this kind of behaviour is them not wanting to accept the inevitability that they will get old, and that often comes with certain limitations. They don't want to give up their independence, and that is completely understandable. I wouldn't want to be giving up my independence either. I believe everyone should be able to live in their own home as long as they safely can. But when your adult kids, and I'll just refer to us as kids from here on, are genuinely asking you what you would want in these circumstances, pushing them away and saying stupid shit like "just shoot me" is childish behaviour and harmful to the relationship with your kids. Now get it? You don't want to hear that, but it's true, and if you keep it up, they will eventually lose compassion and that will be bad for you. So facing the aging dilemma head on is the best course of action. So how do we do that? Well, it all starts with knowing about why people end up in nursing homes in the first place. Because contrary to popular belief, most people don't. You don't hit 80 and wham, nursing home. You end up in one because you can't care for yourself sufficiently. You don't have a caregiver or family member to help you at home. Your care needs exceed what a loved one can manage, and when the cost of your care exhausts the family's financial resources. So staying out of a nursing home means tackling those 4 points. And that all starts in your 60s, long before you get old and frail. So let's get to it. Keeping your brain sharp. A very obvious point that you've probably been told before, but you would be surprised how many people just sit in front of the TV and with their brain doing absolutely nothing. And when we say keeping the brain sharp, we don't mean intelligence. We mean staying physically active to keep the blood flowing up to your brain, getting your heart pumping to keep the brain working. We mean keeping your social connections. That could be regular meetups for coffee and cake with your girlfriends, weekly golf games, going traveling. Staying at home and doing nothing is bad for your brain. And introverts, I'm talking to you. Next, stop smoking and limit your alcohol intake. "But I'm old, I can do what I want," I hear you cry. Sure, you can do what you want, and you can spend your later years in a nursing home. It's all about making good choices. And that also means maintaining positivity, which I acknowledge sounds a bit new age, but it's true. Those with a lighter outlook on life are generally healthier. And if you're constantly being negative about everything and putting yourself down and telling yourself, "Oh, I lost the keys again, I'm so old and stupid," you're going to reinforce bad habits and make yourself stressed. Because you could quite easily turn that around, because we all lose our keys on occasion. It's not a case of your age, it's of being human, and humans forget things on occasion. Lastly, keeping up with technology. And I don't mean all of it, there's no need to keep up with everything. I mean knowing how to do your online banking, anything to do with superannuation and the pension, and using your smartphones and the apps on it. These will not only help your brain synapses keep firing, but it will make later points that we make so much easier. And I know 80-year-olds that are ordering home delivery on their smartphone, so don't say it can't be done. Keep moving. Okay, so we mentioned that it was good for your brain, but shockingly enough, it's also good for your body. No matter what age you are, if you are sitting on your butt all day, your body is not going to be happy with you. Now, we're not saying go sign up at a gym or anything, though that is a good idea, and they have some great classes for seniors, by the way. The water aerobics class down at my local gym have some of the liveliest over 60s you've ever seen. But it doesn't need to be so formal. Regular golf or tennis games with your mates, regular travel where you spend your days walking around new cities, a nightly walk around the neighbourhood with your dog, partner, mates, walking group. Anything that keeps the blood circulating nicely. And as someone that does have a bit of arthritis, I know it can be tempting to just not move those joints, but regular movement will make them feel so much better, I promise. Take responsibility for your health. When it comes to not ending up in a nursing home, this is a big one. If something suddenly changes in your body, go get it checked. If you've got a long-term health problem, keep up with your medical appointments. The whole, I don't want to go to the doctor because I'm scared of what they'll find, is a really useless way of looking at things. Anything bad works out better if it's caught early. And most things are just simple things that can be solved with a diet change or tablet. So keep up your regular checks and tests. It is on you to put in the work to keeping your brain and body in good nick. No one else can do that for you. That is on you. Save money. Now, this is easier said than done for a lot of us, but the more money you have, the more options you have. And if you're desperate not to go into a nursing home, you're going to want options. Seek out a financial advisor if you need to. You can book in one for free at Centrelink. And perhaps less time at the pokies and casino, eh? Create a safe environment. So my folks are in their mid-60s and they've just renovated their house that they've lived in for 40 years for the first time. And in doing so, they made sure to include things that they don't need now, but they may need down the line. Because waiting until you need it is not the best approach. And I am so glad they did, because I was always concerned one of them was going to fall in their really badly designed bathroom one day. Yes, shockingly enough, your kids actually do care what happens to you. Now, I'm not saying you need to gut your house completely or anything. Just start making good habits and putting a few things in place. Put non-slip mats in place. Reorganize your shelves so things can be easily reached without needing to stretch or use a step stool. Declutter your home to provide more space and less trip hazards. Install handrails near the toilet, shower and bathtub. There are some very stylish ones out there now. There are also so many gadgets and equipment and things out there to make your home more safe and user-friendly while still looking good. So don't be afraid to try them out. And I know a lot of people get embarrassed about having these things in their home, or when they need to use a walking stick or walker. My late grandmother comes to mind. But no one is judging you other than yourself. And frankly, I have great respect for those who tackle challenges head on and make smart decisions. And you should be too. Use helpful services. If you want to stay out of the nursing home, reaching out for help when you need it is vital. There are so many services out there, you just need to look. Home care services are able to help you out with meal prep, personal care, cleaning, gardening, home admin. But perhaps you don't need that much help yet. That's cool. There are meal delivery services, and these aren't just for the elderly anymore. Nope, these are for everyone and their busy lifestyle. You could have ones that are already prepared and you just need to heat up in the microwave, or there are ones like HelloFresh where they deliver you portioned ingredients and easy recipes and you go off and make it yourself. Additionally, nowadays most supermarkets will deliver your groceries for you. And away from food, how about your pets? There are now many services out there, often free, that will walk your dog or take them to the vet for you if you find yourself unable to do so. Perhaps you want a book but you can't get to the library. Many public libraries will now allow you to go online, select books and then deliver them to you. Perhaps you are lonely and want company. There are various volunteer services providing that service. My point being, if you have tried and can't do it yourself, don't just sit there getting cranky. A quick Google search will often find the service that will solve your issue. And they're often free and heavily discounted by the government. And you paid all your tax dollars over these years, you may as well get something back. Be nice to those around you. Certain people aren't going to like to hear this, but if you've been a horrible person to be around for such a long time, people aren't going to be feeling all that compassionate towards you when you need it. So play nice. The whole, you have to respect your elders unquestionably, or you have to do anything for family, only goes so far. The majority of elderly are informally cared for by their immediate family, and if they don't like you, putting you in a nursing home is going to be the option that appeals to them the most. Becoming a carer often requires that a person gives up work and financial security and puts great pressure on their partner and children to make sure you are taken care of. Now, if you are a lovely, appreciative person who cared for them during their life, like most people are, they will be perfectly willing to do this. They love you after all, so don't feel guilty about that. This point is for those particular people who we all know at least one of. Be honest with yourself. I've said this many times on this channel, but not every family is perfect, and this is the flip side to that last point. Be very honest with yourself about who your children and your partner are. Are they empathetic and functional? Then they may be able to be relied upon when things get tough. Or are they self-centered and useless? Then they may not be of any help at all, and putting you in a nursing home will be the first thing they do because it will make life easier for them. So be very honest with yourself, because it will make a big difference in how you plan for the future. If you can't rely upon your kids now, don't try and delude yourself into thinking they will suddenly change in the future. With this honest appraisal of your kids and the others around you, make the appropriate and necessary plans to make sure you are cared of, including your living arrangement options, advanced care directive, guardianship. Safeguard yourself if you feel you need to. Adaptability. Stubbornness is rarely a good quality in anyone. And if you dig your heels in and refuse all help or decide that living in your home is the only option, you are putting yourself at risk. There is a fine line between fierce independence and blind stubbornness. Your ability and willingness to adapt to your changing situation is going to make a big difference on how the aging process goes and the support you get. Rapid change and information overload are often cited as big challenges at this time of life, and that is completely understandable. Your kids need to slow down and be empathetic. This is their new normal too. They need to get used to it. And I'll probably make another video talking directly to them. But the point is, try to go with the flow, ask for help, and tell people you feel overwhelmed. Use your words. Purpose. Once people retire, they tend to spend time ticking things off their bucket list. But then what? Many cite a lack of purpose in their lives. And now I can't tell you what your purpose is, but usually it comes from relationships, hobbies, work, service, learning. It's up to you to look within yourself and find what gives you purpose. Because you may be getting on in years, but you're not dead yet, so don't act like it. Make plans to tick things off your bucket list. Go out and do the things you enjoy, whatever that may be. People in their 80s can still skydive. I've seen it happen. So in a nutshell, if you want to keep your independence, you need to work for it. If you want to stay out of the nursing home, you need to work for it. And you need to work with others and accept help in order to maintain that independence. Sitting around feeling sorry for yourself is a one-way ticket to the nursing home. And for your adult kids, please get a copy of this book and read it. Just do it. It will give you a lot of clarity on the things that you and your parents are going to go through in this journey. And if you want to talk more about your individual situation, please book an online consult with us and we're happy to talk you through it all. And with that, go talk death.